Gordon Ramsay presides over 4 of the UK's most prestigious restaurants.
Wait. Hey, straighten your bow tie.
From the kitchen of his famous Michelin-starred restaurant in Chelsea, he's planning his next conquest, the Connaught Hotel.
All the critics are saying it's not broken, why fix it? Well, it is broken, and it needs a breath of fresh air. And there's several critics that have illustrated over the last couple of months that the Connaught's part of British tradition. But it's not British tradition, that's British stodge.
But some of the Connaught's rich and famous regulars are appalled at the thought of a Ramsay invasion.
For someone like Gordon Ramsay to say, oh yes, well it was, of very little interest to people, is to ignore the fact that only 2 years ago the Connaught was the second highest rated restaurant in our survey after his Gordon Ramsay on Royal Hospital Road. So this was a restaurant which was really satisfying a great number of people to a very large extent.
Ignoring his critics, Gordon replaced the old French chef with his protégé, Angela Hartnett.
It just is quite daunting. I mean, without sounding too, it's all on my shoulders, but at the end of the day, it is.
If this falls, it brings down here, it brings down Marcus at Petrus, it brings down Claridge's. So, there's a lot riding on this one, and sadly Angela's going to have to carry the brunt for that.
Angela's just moved into one of London's biggest kitchens.
This is the main kitchen, this is the raw, this is what everyone in the company takes me for, because I've got the best kitchen now, it really is.
Over £1 million is being spent on redesigning the restaurant and refurbishing the kitchen.
We've opened it all up, so the pastry right through to the larder, there's one continuous line. So from a chef's point of view, it's brilliant. You actually get to see every single thing that's going on, and that's an essence of Gordon's kitchens, if you like, that is controlled by the chef the whole time. So it's up to me to set the standard and make sure that my cook's following that procedure. And if they don't, then they're not really the cooks I want working for me. I mean, it's the same principles that Gordon and I had to work for him. And believe me, I've got enough rollickins to know, oops, it's not quite what he meant, was it? Right.
And Gordon has high expectations for the Connaught and for Angela.
The run-up to launching any restaurant at that level is physically tough and mentally draining. And that's what Angela's trying to come to terms with now. It's not so much cooking from the back and her standing on the stove for 16 hours a day. She's got to be everywhere. She's got to be the mother. She's got to be the firm father figure in the kitchen. She's got to be the creator. She's got to be the inspiration. And she's got to be the flair. Oh, by the way, you've got to find time to cook as well. So opening a restaurant at that level is tough.
Yeah, you take them all. There'll just be none in this pastry. They all go to you. We'll have a look at them.
Ordering as well?
Yeah, ordering everything. I've said that since day one, but everyone ignored me. So now you can all bloody listen.
Many of the Connaught chefs chose to leave at the end of the old regime. Those that have decided to stay don't know what to expect.
There's a lot of things we're not too sure about working in Angela. It's like with the menu, we don't know what sort of style of food we're doing. If you left and went to a brand new restaurant, you'd know the food you were doing because you could see the place before, and you could go there and see the food they're doing. We're up to now, it's a waiting game. We're getting told some things, but we've not seen any of the food properly yet.
Like you said, we know we have the menu and everything. It's going to be much easier for us to really know if this is what we want or not.
Good to see you too.
And it's not just the kitchen staff who are worried. The Connaught guests are very loyal, but they also expect the best. General Manager Anthony Lee has worked at the Connaught for over 20 years.
This suite, if you took it as it is, it would be £1,250 a night. I mean, these suites are what people love most of all about the Connaught. We've had many very well-known people that come here, both business and from the film industry. We have quite an institution here. It really is. We've got the captains of industry who are extremely demanding. They guard this hotel as their home very jealously, and if something they feel threatens that, they certainly say so in uncertain terms, which is nice, because if they didn't say anything, they wouldn't care. So every day I get phone calls or letters or emails, and I respond accordingly.
Dining at the Connaught has changed very little over the last century.
It's just this wonderfully anachronistic, couldn't be anywhere else. You can't really be that far from St James's because there's all these clubland dishes on the menu, but there's also these extraordinary sounding dishes from, you know, from the late 1800s. Just a wild and extraordinary combination that should be dead, but isn't.
But Blackstone, the company that owned the Connaught, wanted more profits from the restaurant. John Seriali, their restaurant consultant, decided it had to change.
We needed to create venues which that were aspirational for a younger customer, so that these great assets wouldn't die. I think you need to study your customers, what's happening with the world of food and wine, and then have the courage of your convictions to implement the right plan.
Many of the hotel's regular guests were appalled when they heard about the changes in the Connaught kitchen. Richard and Peter Harden compile a restaurant guide. They did a poll of their readers.
We gave people the option. They could vote. Did they think the takeover by Gordon Ramsay at the Connaught, should they press a button, good on you, Gordon, go for it? Or should they press the barbarians are at the gate? And the barbarians at the gate won 8-1, yes.
I think they think we're about to turn it into, I don't know, Pizza Express or whatever, you know, but sometimes, you know, which is great, I like Pizza Express, but, you know, we're not stupid and Gordon knows what he's doing and we know what food we want to do. So I think some people like that old reference because it probably is one of the very few places in London that is left that does do that. But at the end of the day, if they loved it so much, it would have been full and, you know, people like Blackstone wouldn't have necessarily brought us in to change the business of it. So like my mum said, oh, Stephen Fry's not happy about that. I said, right, Mum, I said, if you want me to close the place because Stephen Fry's not happy. You send up 2 pots. So, for instance, you slice up your sweetbread in there with your seps.
Angela spent the last 3 weeks with her 2 head chefs, Neil and Massimo, creating a menu of 10 starters and 10 main courses. Camille, the pastry chef, is in charge of puddings.
I just need to get the tastings over with Gordon. Once I've done those, then I'll be more than, not relaxed, but I'll be happy in my head. At the moment, that's the thing that's always niggling at the back of my mind. I have to cook for him and Marcus. That's going to be worse for me than cooking on the opening night.
Today's the day she's been dreading, the tasting. Angela's cooking all the food on her menu for approval by Gordon and his 2 top chefs, Marcus Waring and Mark Askew.
They're basically going to get the feel of exactly what I want to do at menu, what Camille's decided on the desserts and how we want to do a bit of the service. So it's not a case of going, Gordon with a big marker pen going, no, I don't want that dish, yes, I want that one. You know, I'll go down afterwards, sit with them, we'll have a chat and, you know, I may leave the country.
The most interesting thing about Angela, she won't leave the premises until she's happy. Admittedly, just like when Mark opened Royal Hospital Road, Marcus opened Petrus, days off, forget about it. Thank you. Poached halibut, olive oil, vinaigrette and vegetables provençal. Nice. Vegetables Provence. Cold crispy vegetables, cold nut and lard and rock salt. That's quite daring, isn't it? Cold lard. I mean, a lot of...
Cold lard, is that
yeah,
what it is?
Beautifully marinated. A lot of...
Italian thing, though.
Yeah, Brits will just cringe. What, lard? We're eating it? Isn't that what Gary Bird's put in his hair?
I think it lends itself to winter.
No. No, but if somebody comes in and wants a crispy vegetable salad and they say, oh, by the way, madam, we've got lard on it, you're off. Undercooked. And Marty said potatoes are slightly bland, watery.
It's not really seasoned properly.
No.
Downstairs in the kitchen, Angela has no idea of what Gordon thinks of the food.
Unfortunately, that's unedible, that pork.
Yeah. How's that done, though? They must have cooked it flat and rolled it round the fire and
cold.
Rolled it from there.
Yeah,
so it must be cooked before they rack the fire.
Yeah. But taste the pork, Mark. You'll see it's actually undercooked. As you can, Marcus couldn't even cut through it.
Definitely to blanch that bacon, otherwise we're going to kill it.
That's congealed raw fat, sadly.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. I was actually quite shocked when you were trying to cut that open.
Yes, it just couldn't. I don't like that either. I found that inedible.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't really go together.
The critics would have a bloody field day. I mean, it's not going to go out like that. It sends alarms. And I'm surprised Neil, if he put the dish together this morning, was unaware of the fact that it wasn't cooked. No, you go ahead. We're going to do it just like we're going to do in the restaurant. Excellent. We tell the customers they can shave their own truffles, and they're going to go bananas. That's fine. They're too thick as well. Good. Turn it upside down. There's one underneath. But you can't take a bouillabaisse sauce light and aerate it.
There was one fish with a tomato paste.
All the dishes have been served. Gordon summons Angela and her head chef Neil from the kitchen to tell them what he thinks of their food.
What I don't want to do is rip it to shreds.
Yep.
God, that was hard, no?
What, for you or me?
No, for you.
Yeah, no, we needed more organisation in the kitchen.
Yeah, bloody tough. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was just too confused and then.
Yeah. Nothing is personal.
No, I never.
No, nothing's personal. Sure. Marcus, you want to lead from the top?
Sure.
The cold, crispy vegetable salad.
I think personally, I think it's the wrong time of year.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought actually.
For me, everything's undercooked.
Yeah.
Marcus, the spit roasted suckling pig.
It's raw.
Just have a smell. I mean, honestly,
No
one ate it, bar me.
Mm.
And it's hard.
Yeah.
My favourite was the risotto of caramelised sweetbreads. She drowned it with the sauce. I had a soup within 2 spoonfuls.
Right.
Too much.
Okay, yeah.
And you had the slices, the scallops. They've got to be done into nuggets, nice and crispy, beautifully fried, scattered on top.
Yeah.
Almost like croutons. Boom, bang,
Not a
on
whole
top.
one, yeah.
Not a whole one.
Yeah.
And if you're going to return them back to the pan, back in the pan, and deglaze it with a spoon of your jus.
Yeah.
The jus went in and bang, and we lost everything, and then it was far too rich.
Yeah,
But the idea, risotto, sweetbreads, beautifully caramelised and lovely.
For the contrast, but it ended up more like a soup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy. What did you think, seeing the food coming out?
No, certain things I know as I was sending were not right. I knew the bouillabaisse. I felt the veg were too cold. I could feel that. You know, I knew that certain, most of the things you've corrected, you know, in your heart of hearts, they're not right.
2 minutes, thanks, Tony. Go on, sorry.
So you know yourself as you are, but you can't. I've got to send them. It's too late.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, there was things as you were doing them, you were questioning. Maybe straight away, or maybe we should do it like this or that, or.
Guys, we're a month away.
Yeah.
We've got
exactly.
plenty of time. Marcus is going to take 2 dishes under his wing. Mar's going to take 2 dishes under the wing, the rillettes.
Yeah. I'm fine
half
with
a
that.
day.
Yeah.
At Rolloston Road. Marcus is going to go through the bouillabaisse stages with Angela. Trust me, I mean, first tasting, and you know we've come leaps and bounds. Second tasting, we're going to get further. And if it needs 4 more tastings before we have to sit here at bloody 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't give a fig.
Yeah.
We do it. There's a lot of staff on board. It's costing an absolute fortune at the moment to run. There's nothing coming through the till, and we're spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds getting it up to speed. But I suppose that's part and part of the parcel.
Angela's working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and hardly ever leaves the hotel. Gordon will not be satisfied until the menu is perfect. Someone who knows how tough he can be is Mark Sargent, head chef at another Ramsay kitchen at Claridge's.
Can be constructive at times, but other times, you know, a little bit harsh. And in that kind of like junior stage of opening, you could do with more constructive than harshness, really. But it's fine. It's something that's very necessary and something that we all have to go through and do. But I don't envy her at all, to be honest. You can talk to your blue in the teeth about, you know, ideas, dishes that go, ingredients. I saw that with that when I was away travelling, but it's a totally different way of actually complying it all in a menu of 10 starters, 10 main courses, whatever, and actually coming up with the best dishes that 1, taste delicious, 2, look fantastic, and 3, that 30 people in the kitchen can actually do, you know, for you and when you tell them to. Right, Sarge. Hi, Ange, how are you?
Sorry to disturb. Yeah. Have you got foie gras, please?
Foie gras. There's probably more things up there.
Yeah, come on, be fair now. You borrowed my pass, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, I know you're a servant.
Give me your chickens back, it's fine.
Do you mind?
How much do you need?
Just one to try it out, and I'll give you it back tomorrow.
Is that okay?
Doesn't look like I have a choice. Oh yeah, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Well, when do we get it back tomorrow?
Yes. I'll see you later.
Take care, darling.
Cheers.
See you later. She looks very tired. I think a lot of it's tiredness through working long hours since she's been back. She's probably got so much on her mind that she's not sleeping too well. Josh and myself are exactly the same with the opening of this. It's just a really exciting and nervous time.
Angela may be tired, but there's plenty to keep her awake at night. With only 10 days to go before she opens, the building work in the kitchen and the restaurant isn't finished.
It'd be nice when you replace my pasta machine.
No, they told me it was all working fine.
No, it's not
Yes, it
working
is.
fine and dandy. You ask this man, pasta machine is not working fine and dandy.
Which pasta machine?
You know, the one that fell on his head.
You want to see what it did to his head, Angela?
And Gordon still hasn't approved her menu.
The last tasting, to be totally honest, wasn't a great success. I know it was the first one, but there were some things across the table that were not good. Insufficient flavour. One particular dish on the starters was a pork dish. And we all know how dangerous it is cooking pork. But this piece of pork was raw, and it was served cold. Every 24 hours that go on, this is crucial for us. This is absolute, the most important time to iron out the creases now and to bring it together so we look like a polished act, because I know full well that the Times, the Observer and the Evening Standard have already booked their tables to review the restaurant within 48 hours of opening. And I guarantee on our first night there's going to be half a dozen food critics in there as well. So yeah, it's big stuff.
It's the final menu tasting for Gordon, Marcus and Mark before the restaurant opens. Angela's had to completely rework a lot of the food.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Is that a truffle sauce, Tom?
Yeah, there's a truffle sauce.
Excellent.
They start with some old-fashioned dishes designed to appease the critics.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks nice. Very nice. Is it potato? Yeah, it is. No one can complain about that, can they? No. Definitely not.
This time the food's going down well, but Gordon's still got concerns about getting the restaurant ready.
Very good. How's the service come together?
We're getting there, huh? We started up big time this week. New stuff coming in and everything. It's good. See a little bit more smiles and excitement.
You got enough time to get them together?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
We'll get there.
Our focus has been on the food for the last 3 weeks. And I'm concerned
And now we have to go get it going upstairs, huh?
at the dining room,
Some of the Connaught's non-kitchen staff don't like the Ramsay invasion.
The doorman won't let us in. I was at a Barney with him. Came for me.
No.
Followed me in, yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Grumpy?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he didn't recognise me. He said, I'm not too sure who's who. I said,
Just tell him to concentrate.
We've seen each other many times, my friend.
Opening those doors?
Yeah.
Why is he so grumpy? Ask him that.
Don't start rumbling in the foyer.
He came in a taxi with one of the ladies from the restaurant, and he came up to the taxi to open the door, saw it was Mark, and left it.
Shade traffic. That looks nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Looks very nice. Yeah, I like that.
The crumble.
Yeah, see, you're too clever here now. The apple crumble.
Yeah, no.
Definitely.
In the dish again.
Yeah. Definitely.
We're going for the classic.
We'll get stuff for that.
You know what crumble should be?
Yeah.
Even roasting hot. Even that's.
Yeah. But the crumble here before was very good. We'll get pan for that.
Yeah, it's not that.
No, we'll get absolutely.
But it's not
pan.
hot though. And cutting them, we just put the sub in double.
No. You don't think?
It's got to be roasting. It's got to be bubbling with caramel.
Just making her life so much harder when she starts putting food out
That's
like
not
that.
the idea, is it? It's not the idea what we're looking at for the grill menu.
Well, Camille needs telling.
So, Camille the pastry chef needs telling, and Angela has some other management skills to work on.
You spend more time with those guys in the kitchen than you do with your family at home, so you know you've got to love each other, you've got to get on, and to be totally honest, the closer you get to a young cook, you can tell them off better. When you don't know them, you bounce around them, and yet when you've spent that length of time with them, you can really seriously basically lay into them. And I say lay into them, I mean really discipline them, and sadly that's what's going to have to take place now with Angela. You're going to have to really, you know, let them know who the boss is, and they're going to have to wake up and smell the coffee and start supporting her. So there's that little bit of uncertainty at the moment, and she's going to get more frustrated, but she's going to have to get tougher, and this is going to be the making of her.
All right, let's have a look.
To test the kitchen, Gordon and his team have invited friends and family to the Connaught to eat for free.
This is the proper invitation dry runs. So it's 40 lunch, 60 dinner, Neil? Yeah. 60 dinner. That's busy. That's busy, that. I mean, you know, we haven't done anything close to that so far.
Are you happy with the table numbers?
Yeah.
There's a plan on the back of the door so you can see every time you come through.
It's also going to put the waiting staff under pressure.
It's on the plan, but you've got 32, 33, 34, 35 in the corner, 36 and 37. Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Start opening containers, you can't be doing that. Get some mushrooms cooked off before service. The only last minute thing is...
Angela's worried her staff aren't up to the job.
All your pans should be hot and everything should be ready in little pots, and that's your job as number 2. Yeah. So when the check comes on, all he has to do is cook it, and he's taking everything out. So you're literally sitting there saying sea bass garnish, lamb garnish, bash garnish, salmon garnish, and you're cooking, and you've got it under control where everything is, okay? So get all those garnishes ready and out, yeah? Okay.
Angela has drafted in Stuart, an experienced chef, to knock them into shape.
Once they've had a few or whatever and they've had a bit of a tough time, they'll be mentally focused because they'll be scared to get the same treatment again, because, you know, it's tough when you get that. So they won't you know, come in, you know, half asleep. They'll be focused and they'll want to just make sure service is smooth, because if service is smooth, service is a real buzz. It's great. But when it starts to go pear-shaped, there's nothing worse than service like that, because it upsets the whole team. All the team are looking at you like, what are you doing? You know, why are you putting all us in the... You slow down the service, the flow, the food's not right. It's a nightmare.
One person counts down, yeah? Said that. So you're the one counting down everything, yeah? Fish the whole lot, yeah?
I mean, now when you turn up the heat, now is when you start to see. You start to see. I mean, we've had a couple of people go already. A couple of runners, a couple of people have just disappeared, not come back, so... And we haven't even started yet, really, so you always get that. All openings are like that. You tend to overstaff for openings by about 15% because you always lose plenty of staff.
We're not going to go through this 4 times a day in service. Somebody asks something from the past, you're going to say yes or no. If you don't say anything, you haven't heard, okay?
Out of the way, if John's on the pass, leave him on the pass, yeah? 22. Go, 22. No, it's for them. I mean,
This is the first time the kitchen is cooking Angela's new menu for a full restaurant. And adding to the pressure, one of the Connaught's regular guests, John Major, has ordered dinner for 20 in one of the hotel's private dining rooms.
Flow on, you especially. You're very quiet. Yeah. Flow on. 3 times I looked at your fish. You're not ready, okay?
These plates are bloody filthy.
Camille, the head pastry chef, is struggling to keep up. And the service is chaotic. Angela heads up to the restaurant to find out why.
You cannot work like that. It's like in the kitchen, we can't work like that, and nor can you. You're just in a mess. Disaster. Take all that stuff downstairs, yeah? Yeah, not the trays, but all that, cleared that down, yeah? Yeah, in the bin. Takes you what, 30 seconds? 30 seconds to clean down, yeah?
Okay, 30 seconds, are we ready? Okay.
Okay, let's go. Side portion of spinach, put it on the tray, and I'll just sit here, yeah? Quite strong for this sorting.
Let's get ready on 2 crumbles.
Go and see what's going on in there.
Some guests are taking advantage of the free lunch and ordering double puddings.
They shouldn't be ordering in the first place. They're taking the...
It's the 3rd table, 3rd tata.
So we won't do that. So we won't do that. So this is people invited. We don't do that for that.
Despite the chaos downstairs, the invited guests seem to be enjoying their free meals.
First night.
First night, they'll get it. And they need to be told these things. We need to regroup and get on it.
Definitely.
And it's hard because I just wander past and I'm constantly, I see this, and they are fighting. Although me, Stuart and Neil and Massimo and John, we haven't worked together, we're forming a more united team. Sure. And there's too many people that are, you know, Absolutely. Camille is having like a rocket. I said, send Camille in, they're going down. Tans are not right.
Yeah, tonight, John Major, 60-70 covers in, and you've got the terrace and the bar at the same time. Now, do me a favour. It's all over the scene, look fantastic.
Yeah, everything's looking good. I'm pleased with the food. It's going out really nicely and they're getting it. They just need to be told constantly.
Head up. Head up.
It's fine. It's fine.
Strong, baby, strong, baby.
Tomorrow, the restaurant will be open to paying customers and critics for the first time. Tonight, it's the launch party, and a chance for Gordon and Angela to sell the new style Connaught to Michael Winner and one of the most important restaurant critics, the Evening Standard's Faye Mashler.
With menu available in the room as well.
Is the grill going to have like a trolley and all that nonsense or not anymore?
We got the split roast we haven't seen yet. We're going to have in like split roasted pheasants, partridge, chicken in the grill. In the grill.
You won't have a roast beef trolley or anything.
Not necessarily, but we
ribeye,
ribeye,
cook it aluminids, which you can hang it better.
The only bad thing I ever had in Gordon's restaurant was the tea. The only bad thing ever.
You're on top of your game, dear. Careful in one area.
The party's also a rare chance for Angela to see her mum.
Tomorrow's the most important.
Tomorrow's the most important because that's when the place kicks off, and that's where the real work's going to be done. You're going to see this lady in a different frame, and you're going to see back to the Incredible Hulk, Mr. Meanie, nasty, nasty.
I'm never going to get a husband if I'm attached to you.
Well done, darling.
So this is it, the opening night.
So this will be your first experience of a quite busy night. And this is just the beginning, huh? So we have to put the speed in and all the good energy that you can have to make this work well. And will work well. Just keep focus on your station, work in a good team and communicate with your head waiter, chef de rang, and make sure that the right person is running for information from the kitchen or to the kitchen.
Angela has asked Marcus to help her out in the kitchen.
Covers, one St. Jack, one velouté to follow, one lamb, one venison. Both rare, Ollie, yeah? John, who made those drinks? The open, it should be a thinner layer of the courgette. Go. So, why is there no truffle on that? How long, please? Wait. Your grill on, Ollie. You got it on, keeping your veg under.
Who's counting down? Now it's 2.5.
Got to make sure you say that, yeah? Get ready on 4 frog's legs, yeah, please. Service. Go, table 3.
All the basic training Angela's put her kitchen staff through has paid off. But will the waiting staff let her down?
Wake up, you two, yeah? See a tray, gun, bang, and I want a lid on there.
That's why they're here, so they're stain-free, and yet you're putting me stuff on there that's filthy, dusty. Shut the door, so I've got the heat.
3 bouillabaisse.
Wait.
2 on now, this is rare, so 6
A few more truffles on your carpaccio. Be a bit more generous, yeah? A few more. White on there, yeah? Let's go. Anyone
Angela's expecting newspaper reviewers to be eating in the restaurant tonight, and she's relying on her waiting staff to let her know when they arrive.
Lena, who didn't spot them? Who didn't spot them? I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah? Susan Kessler's up there, no one spotted her.
What table?
In the grill room.
In the grill room.
Tom, Saeed up there?
Yeah.
Susan Kessler writes for the all-important Zagat restaurant guide. Marcus wants Angela to go and serve her main course.
No.
Angela.
No.
Angela, it's your show. Go and do the truffle. Stop.
Susan Kessler wants to look round the kitchen after her meal. Marcus gives Angela some advice on making her feel special.
Do I say anything when she comes down? What, apologise we didn't recognise her?
Nice to see you. Have a nice evening last night, she said last night.
Me, I'll tell you, I'm going to have a bloody heart attack.
Pudding orders are coming through, and Camille, head pastry chef, is falling behind.
Okay, that's the problem. It's when I get written check and it's not coming through, and then it comes through like 10 minutes after.
Why are you getting written checks though? Why?
A computer problem means she's getting some orders twice.
If you're not sure, just send someone down to us to pay reception.
I don't know why these tickets came separately. Thomas, we have more problems
Okay.
never seen.
Marcus?
It's all been, the menu's been a dream. The grill room this evening has been a disaster when it comes down to Romanco. Pathetic. Training, staff training. I don't think they have a bloody clue.
Five, you said that?
Just making life so hard because it's just making the life of the patient nightmare for no
It's
reason.
going after the tata, right? After. I'm running out of silver trays for twirls.
The twill tray.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one Fredo, one Tata, and one Luga.
A few trial runs. So we packed the place with friends and family, thank the Lord, on Friday night. It all started.
The last orders are coming through. Angela's VIP guests are taking a tour of the kitchen, and everything seems to be running smoothly.
And that's what we know. Oh, excuse my sous chef there. Okay. We are very nice like this. Neil.
Top garnish, not burn.
Neil. Yeah. Just got a good guess there.
Despite the problem with the spinach, Angela's really proud of her brigade. Now all she has to do is wait and see what the critics have made of it. The restaurant's been up and running for the past month, and nearly every food critic from every publication has eaten here. Gordon and Angela catch up on the reviews. Most are good, but Gordon's not at all happy with one of them.
I mean, the Metro, I mean, it's a toilet publication.
Yeah.
Anyone that writes for the Metro, in all honesty, you know, no disrespect, I'd rather write for the big issue free of charge than write for this toilet. Because when you read her supposedly constructive criticism, it's not. It's vindictive and it's personal.
Yeah.
She obviously had
she had a problem with the manager that
I think
night.
she had a problem with her boyfriend when she got home. Something went bad. Something
not
happened.
Make it personal.
No, but I mean, 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
On the same day, Fame Ashley gave you an absolutely amazing review.
Yeah, true.
Connected to the same magazine,
Yeah.
same newspaper. Thank you. And she didn't even. I mean, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
She's certainly trying to make her name, that's for sure.
Yeah, but she mentioned dishes here you haven't even got on the menu with ingredients that are.
Yeah, she mentioned trompette. We don't even have trompette.
There's no trompette on the menu, and that's the shocking thing about it. Secondly, first bloody night.
Yeah.
Who on earth's going to get it right on the first night, for God's sake?
Yeah, but that's what they expect, though, don't they?
Well, she's a woman, you're a woman, and she's obviously a failed chef. No?
Don't make it into a vendetta. I don't have a problem with you, my dear.
What's her name?
What is her name?
Anyway. I was very happy with Tejurek.
Oh, yeah, he was great, yeah.
Faye was a big one for me because I know how influential she is.
Yeah.
And I know how important she is for you.
Yeah, she was actually really nice. But I think my problem is I read them so quickly.
You just jump.
And you just see all the bad bits, you know, like faces, she didn't like the desserts. And then when I reread it, and she actually says some fantastic things about me personally and what a great decision it was that you made to come here. That I think, well, actually, Angie, you're just being a bit too, you know, sensitive to it all.
Yeah.
But then again, it's the first time you're so used to all this.
Yes and no, really. Well, we haven't been reviewed for a long
No, you
time.
haven't.
But I think for me is when you see the impact on the telephone the day
yeah, when it
off.
comes out, for sure.
Huh? But you look really tired in that picture there.
There's a surprise. Oops, up at 7, bed at 2, yeah.
It was pretty stressful. 2
Yeah,
days
it
before we
was.
opened, no? I mean, those tastings were pretty horrific.
Yeah, they were horrible. And
Just to get
we got
the
over
brigade together.
Yeah, and even so, it's still building it because, you know, even now a lot of old staff that have been here have suddenly thought, well, actually, yeah, I do like it, but suddenly they're working a lot more hours.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more pressure on the service. You know, they're still, you know, on a Sunday we finish service at 4:30 and we restart an hour and a half later.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a killer for
I mean, the Connaught's never seen so many customers
No.
come in and out in one day. But,
you know. That's what success is. You don't want to open, you don't want to not have covers. If you don't, you've done something wrong. You know, that's what it's trying to get through to the cooks and everyone else, that thank God we are full, because there's few and far between in London at the moment that can honestly say they're full 7 days a week, lunch and dinner.
I mean, literally 7 days a week.
Yeah.
The Connaught's big bosses from America are delighted with the Ramsay revolution.
These venues have allowed us to take people who maybe would have never come to these great hotels, and maybe these hotels would have been abandoned 10 or 15 years from now. But now we've because of the energy in these hotels, we've given these hotels back to the next generation of not just British, but the next generation of Americans and Europeans who come and use these hotels.
However, not everyone thinks the changes will stand the test of time.
I think there is a danger for Blackstone taking elements of the Savoy Group and trying to make them fashionable and of the minute, because I think it may work brilliantly in the short term, but then the trouble with fashionable things is that then they're unfashionable after a bit, and you've got to put something else in which is fashionable. And whether from a business point of view, it is more successful just to try to reform the system you've got, or to keep on having to have revolution every few years, I think it's very difficult to call.
Meanwhile, in the Connaught kitchen, pastry chef Camille has left to pursue other projects. And Angela's made Gordon very proud.
Marcus waited 2 years. I must have waited 2.5 weeks, but I think Angela beat both of us hands down before she actually kicked somebody out.
Oh, stop.
I
haven't told my mum that yet.
You haven't told your mum? No. Well, I think you ought to.
She got upset.
Within 1 week, she threw a customer out, which was fantastic.
No, but he was being rude to the staff. He was obnoxious to the service, and I wasn't rude to him. And at the end of the day, like we made the point to him, he was using the hotel to get to me. I did ask him and his guests to leave, but I was very polite.
Don't say it
about
like
it.
that. You kicked him.
I did not.
Have you kicked anybody?
No.
Have you pulled their hair?
No.
Have you spat at them?
No. I leave that for you and Waring.
Have you snogged any of them?
Will you shut up?
Way.